Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're taking a fascinating peek right behind the curtain of digital media and analytics. We're going to completely unpack the anatomy of a viral hit. Specifically, we're looking at this meta topic of how packaging AI news as a high-stakes, all-out war creates just massive channel traction. It's honestly incredible to see how the hard data reflects human psychology, right? Like framing technical software updates as an epic rivalry just completely changes how we engage with it. Because let's be totally real here. As much as we might appreciate, beautiful, clean code, we secretly love a good robot war way more. Okay, so here's our blueprint for today. First, we'll cover the AI viral phenomenon. Then we'll decode the viewership data, look at the power of conflict, and finally, we'll assemble the ultimate showdown strategy. All right, Section 1, the AI viral phenomenon and the high-stakes narrative. Let's start this off with a dramatic premise. Think about a title like Gemini 3.5 Pro versus ChatGPT 6. The AI war just went nuclear. I mean, wow, right? That is the absolute perfect hook. It instantly sets this intense, high-stakes tone that viewers are literally desperately clicking on right now. By taking two massive tech titans and pitting them against each other, and using escalating words like nuclear, you're transforming what are essentially standard software updates into a must-watch global event. It just completely demands your attention. And it definitely doesn't stop at just the title. Think about the description framing it as a battle, reshaping the future of artificial intelligence forever. This specific narrative works incredibly well. Why? Because it promises to break down, the shocking new updates, the hidden features, and these secret strategies that both sides supposedly don't want you to know about. It taps directly into our innate curiosity and, for sure, our deep fear of missing out on the future. Moving right along to Section 2, decoding the viewership data. The reality check behind the clicks. Now, what's really interesting here is the clear contrast in how audiences actually consume content about these two specific platforms. On the one side, you have Google's Gemini 3.5 Pro, and it's characterized by this explosive momentum. The data shows these massive spikes around August 3rd and 4th. This proves that the audience is highly reactive to Google's sudden, unpredictable moves in the market. But then on the other side, OpenAI's ChatGPT 6 commands this very steady, consistent interest. It maintains a super strong click-through rate driven entirely by feature-driven curiosity. So it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare, but both are absolutely winning the race in their own unique ways. This dynamic brilliantly illustrates the hierarchy of viewer interest. Like, while OpenAI's Astra definitely shows potential, it has much lower sustained traction when you compare it to the explosive winners. The clear algorithmic favorites are those massive spikes. We're talking sometimes hitting 40+ extra views a day purely on momentum, driven by Gemini's sudden shifts. So the data is telling us loud and clear exactly where the audience's attention is heavily concentrated. And if we map out past viral peaks on a timeline, we can see this data trend is incredibly consistent. Months ago, it was the Astra math breakthroughs. Then weeks ago, ChatGPT 6 feature drops grabbed all the spotlight. And just days ago, the sudden Gemini 3.5 Pro disappearance caused a massive spike. This basically proves the audience is highly reactive to these events over time. They aren't just passively watching, they are actively tracking the entire saga. Which brings us to Section 3, the power of conflict. The psychology of the click. A massive 20 to 30%. This number really matters, guys, because it reveals something fundamental about our digital behavior. Conflict-driven titles, those ones featuring words like verse or race, they outperform purely neutral or informative ones by an astonishing 20 to 30%. Now, in our day-to-day lives, we might prefer peace and quiet, sure, but when it comes to consuming tech news online, this data proves we just literally cannot look away from a good tech titan brawl. So this brings us to conflict framing. The data here is effectively a mirror reflecting audience behavior. It shows that viewers are instinctively drawn to urgent language. When you position content around an intense AI rivalry with dramatic stakes, using phrases like reaching a breaking point or declaring the singularity, you aren't just reporting the news anymore. You're contextualizing it in a way that feels absolutely essential and urgent to the viewer. All right, let's look at Section 4, the ultimate showdown strategy. Merging data and drama. So you're probably wondering, how do we combine all this into an unbeatable formula? Well, you don't just pick one topic, you smash them together. The next logical escalation is to merge these two distinct narratives into a head-to-head showdown. By leveraging Gemini's explosive momentum, harnessing ChatGPT's sustained interest, and then applying that conflict framing we know boosts CTR by up to 30%, you practically guarantee a boost in both click-through rate and overall watch time. It's a completely fascinating reflection of audience behavior in action. To actually execute this, you just follow 3 precise steps. First, frame the content as a direct confrontation between the platforms. Make it a real rivalry. Second, amplify the urgency in your description. Make it crystal clear that the stakes have never been higher. And third, contextualize the clash. Build a narrative around this being the most consequential clash in AI history, using escalating words like nuclear to make the stakes feel tangible and immediate. And to top the whole thing off, you seal the algorithmic deal by deploying specific high-stakes hashtags. Tags like AI war, Gemini versus ChatGPT, and future of AI basically guarantee discovery. Why? Because they directly align with exactly what the algorithm knows the audience is actively searching for. It categorizes your content perfectly, so the system can push it out to the broadest possible audience. As we wrap up this explainer, applying these powerful viral triggers leaves us with one incredibly provocative thought. We know the data proves conflict drives clicks, but as we continue to frame every single technological leap as a war just to satisfy the analytics, are we accurately shaping the narrative of the AI race, or is our algorithmically driven appetite for conflict actually directing the future of AI itself? Thank you so much for joining us, and keep questioning the data.